As I was showing in the last video, you can find it on my Instagram, Sam_Mac_Nally. I was showing some pressure passing drills that we can do, and now I'm going to try to explain some solo drills that we can do to help develop the physical attributes that are useful for pressure passing. First thing we're going to work on is warming up our toes. So we're going to sit up in a kind of a squat like this with our toes forward, and we're going to gently try to lean our weight into our toes. You can put your hands on the mat if you need to, and then lift the toes up again. So very gently just move up and down. Sometimes for people this can be painful. If it is, you can untuck your toes, take a rest, but we're going to try to get a few rounds of moving up and down with our knees like this. The importance of this type of movement is that when we're passing guard, you're always pushing your toes into the mat. So having strong feet and being able to push through your toes is really, really important. From here, we're going to make our way into a tabletop, and you can just start to warm your wrists up. We're going to put some weight into our wrists, so we're going to use the back of our palms on the mat, pushing a small amount of weight through them to get a little bit of blood flowing into our wrists. You can also turn your palms away from you, pulling your elbows back over. And another option as well is you can try to turn your palms to face like this and move the shoulders from side to side. As I was showing in the last video, a lot of our positioning comes from being able to lengthen our spine, putting our weight to our hips and our shoulders. So the first thing we're going to do today is practice moving into like a downward facing dog. You're going to tuck your toes, lift your knees off the mat, push your hips all the way up and back. And from here, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. Try to pull your elbows ever so slightly towards each other and get some length into your spine. This is a similar position to what we do when we're trying to pressure pass. Continuing to warm up, we're going to walk all the way up to our hands, holding opposite elbows hanging over our legs. You can just take a moment to hang. Our hands are going to come to our shins, straightening the legs, looking forward. We're going to fold again. We're going to reach up, reach our hands all the way up above our head, and then folding back forward, hands on the mat. We're going to step back to a plank. From here, we'll let our knees touch the mat. We're going to try to bring our chin and our chest all the way down and lift the head. And we're going to tuck our toes, move all the way back into our downward facing dog again. From here, we're going to start to work our balance without having to use our hands or without having to rely on our hands as much. So the first thing we're going to do is take our left hand away and see if we can hold our left hand by our side. If you find this hard to do, you can put your left fingertips on the mat, but we're going to try to keep our left hand behind us if possible. And from here, we're going to see if we can move all the way over to our left-hand side for a side plank like this. If you feel confident in your side plank, you can try to reach your hands above your head. If you feel like this is okay, you can try to direct your gaze towards your fingertips. If you feel this is good, you can try to lift your leg off the mat. Always trying to lift your hip into the air. Let's go both hands back onto the mat. We're going to go back to our plank. This time we're going to do a low push-up, pulling our elbows in towards our body, lifting our weight over our wrists, untucking the toes all the way up and back to our downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing with the right arm. Right arm is going to come up behind us like this, trying to maintain our balance. We'll move over onto our left hand. Right arm comes up into the air. If you feel good, you can try look towards your fingertips. If you want more of a challenge, you can try to lift your leg. And we're going to go back one more low push-up, untuck the toes, lift our head, and then back to our downward facing dog. We're going to do a similar thing now, but with our legs. We're going to lift the left leg up into the air and try and maintain our position for a moment. See if you can extend your left leg out behind you. From here, keeping our leg off the mat, we're going to move into a plank. We can go low push-up, all the way back up, and back to our downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing on the right hand side. Right leg is going to come up into the air. We're going to try and maintain this position, keeping our foot off the mat, moving forward into a low push-up. You can untuck the toes and back to our downward facing dog. Like I was explaining in the pressure passing video, the key is that we can use our weight moving forward through our hips and our shoulders without having to rely on our hands. So we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit to see if we can balance without having to use both of our hands or both of our legs. Let's go back, left leg up into the air here. And then from here, we're going to start to walk our fingers back. Our left hand is going to walk back. We're going to get onto our fingertips. And then from here, let's see if we can take our left hand all the way free and take it out behind us. Let's go back and back to our downward facing dog. We're going to go same thing but on the right side. So right leg's going to come up into the air. We're going to bring our right fingertip back down the mat. Let's see if we can take our right hand all the way off the mat while maintaining our balance. Both hands back down. Very quickly, in case you haven't seen the other video, if I can use you passing the guard. These kind of positions are very useful for being able to pressure pass. So being able to have length through our spine, pushing our hips forward, pushing our shoulders forward, and also most importantly, being able to rely on allowing us to distribute our weight without having to use our hands. Kind of like what we were doing a second ago. Is something we can do from home without having to have a partner. Thanks for watching.